So, I don't think I need to do a long introduction to set the scene for this video, only because most people know the Alliance and know their origin, but in case you've been under a rock for probably the last 14 years, I'll give you a quick summary. The Grand Alliance is one of the two major political entities on Azeroth that stemmed off the original Alliance of Lordaeron. I did a whole video about them. It's called The Failures of the Alliance of Lordaeron, if you want to know more about them. But for the Grand Alliance, they have a firm grip on the land south of Lordaeron, as well as a few major holdings in Kalimdor. They are comprised of the humans of Stormwind, the dwarves and gnomes of Khazmodan, the night elves of Teldrassil, the Draenei of the Exodar, the Worgen of Gilneas, and the Tushui Pandaren. This video will be looking at the current state of one of the most dominant forces on Azeroth and what their situation is right now. To clarify current state, I will be looking at the Alliance going into Battle for Azeroth, rather than in between 8.0 and 8.1 as we are right now. So to start, the Alliance has come off a major victory against the Burning Legion. Their champions have defeated the major commanders of the Legion, sacked Argus, and aided in the imprisonment of Sargeras, and practically ended the Burning Crusade. However, even though they won the war, they did so at a large cost. The Alliance had expended most of its resources during the defense of Azeroth, as well as the counterattack on the Broken Isles. Their king, Varian Wrynn, had fallen, being replaced by his inexperienced and peace-loving son, Anduin Wrynn. Their armies sat in shambles, and most of their natural resources were depleted, and their navy sat in complete ruin. A time of peace and reconstruction would have given the Alliance time to refuel what they had lost and allow the damage to regather over time. However, with the emergence of Azerite, the very blood of the planet, times of peace were a distant memory. The Horde, led by Sylvanas Windrunner, began open hostilities with the Alliance over this Azerite, wishing to use their weakness as an advantage to gain the upper hand in a technological, cultural, and militaristic domination that the Alliance has held since the Cataclysm. This new war would see the elven lands of Ashenvale and Darkshore sacked and conquered by the Horde, as well as the World Tree itself, Teldrassil, burned. With the World Tree burned, the Alliance lost one of its only stable offshoring points to keep the Horde in check around Kalimdor. But not only did they lose a major holding on the continent, they basically lost an extensive amount of Night Elven soldiers during the failed defense of Ashenvale and Darkshore. Following the burning, King Anduin Wrynn approved and led a counterattack on the Undercity, in hopes of capturing it and striking a blow to the Horde on the Eastern Kingdoms. And while tactically victorious, the Alliance lost a large bulk of their remaining forces and warships, as well as a physical hold on the Undercity, as it was blighted by its previous leader and current acting warchief. The immense damage to the Alliance military and navy following the battles of Lordaeron and Teldrassil places the faction in dire straits, similar to what the Northrend campaign was, where farmhands, civilians, and men unfamiliar with war are being brought up to fight. It's safe to assume that the Alliance reserves have been called in to fill the ranks of the main force, simply due to the desperation and catastrophic damage to both the navy and the army. And while the Alliance forces falter and new allies are being recruited in bulk, they still have a better sitting than their adversary, the Horde, who too have suffered the same losses and damage as the Alliance did. But their current state is a topic for another time. Hopefully this brings you up to speed with the current states of the Alliance if you needed it, and if I missed anything, please let me know in the comments down below. I can't remember everything, but I try to, and thanks for watching.